Alrighty, welcome back. That was the sports cars, and we're going to a very, very different category now. It's the historic touring cars. Now, unfortunately, we've lost the Cortina of, now let me get this right, Michael Stubka, who would have been starting out at fifth. So just four-car field, which is a bit of a shame for us. We've got Michael Maselli starting in second place next to Daryl Hanson. We've got behind him Simon Phillip in the red Tirana, and then Simon Browning in fourth. Now, with the amount of retirements we've seen throughout this pickup series, yesterday we started off with 7, Josh.
I think it might be 9. I think entries.
Entries, yeah, we had a few breakdowns, so hopefully we don't have any more breakdown during the course of this race, otherwise we'll need to get Waverley Towing out there. And shout out to those guys for supplying the tow trucks this weekend. They've done a fantastic job all throughout the weekend.
Well, we're hoping for a reenactment of race 1 where Maselli and Hanson absolutely battle each other to the end of the race. But we do know that Hanson has some, well, not brand spanking new tyres, but they're certainly within the extended warranty period. And we saw, it will be interesting because we do have Browning in his Cortina. We saw Hanson and Maselli getting very, very wheel spin happy off the line last race, and the Cortina almost getting past them. So if they're too happy on the loud pedal today, we might see the Cortina in front of this race for a very small margin of time.
Yeah, let's watch out for that again. So that'll be something to be designed. Yesterday, Michael Maselli very nearly caught up to Daryl Hanson. They were very, very close all throughout the race and set the fastest lap actually on the final lap of that race. Whether or not that can happen, well, we might see whether he's taken a new set of tyres today. That might spice it up, because that's what that seemed to be the difference this morning. It was just a Sunday drive for Daryl Hanson.
Yeah, it was. What better car than that Sunday drive than one of those lovely Mustangs. We've got the field coming on to the start-finish straight. We've got the support cars of the same field size as this current field, pulling in behind them as well. The mini safety car sitting up there with the pit lane entrance. Thank you to the Mini Club for putting on this wonderful event this weekend.
Indeed. And joining us in the commentary box as well, Josh, we've also got Dan from Auto Action. Now, you've been calling some of the Formula Ford action earlier today. A little bit different race, this one.
Yes, it certainly is a different race to the Formula 4s, but there was a great first race yesterday between the two Mustangs. If it's a tenth as good as that, we'll still be in for a good show.
Certainly will.
Well, they're all lined up.
Yeah, they're all lined up. Doesn't take long to
Got a green rose on, but green flag. Lights are on. We're making the grab still. Lights are off we go. Much better start from Hanson than Maselli there. Maselli getting a lot of torque off the line there. The Cortina is not able to make it to the front, but Hanson is absolutely gone at the front there. Maselli in his dust at the moment.
Yeah, he's cleared off as they go down to turn 1, because Maselli just stamped his foot down on the throttle pedal and it absolutely went nowhere, because it was kind of like a Roadrunner cartoon with the wheels going and didn't go anywhere. But the Cortina didn't get quite as good a start as it did this morning, Josh.
No, there's been a lot of petrol into noise off the start line there for Maselli. So that's unbelievable. He is still in range there. There's about 10 car lengths in between them as they head into Honda. Maselli will be looking to try and just keep the pressure up to Hanson, get him to make a mistake and try and take away his first win of this week.
He's closed up quite nicely under brakes into Honda there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. It seems to be just that little bit more comfortable through the corners and on the brakes, but Hanson seems to have that more power, and with those newer, fresher tyres, the grip.
As they came around turn 3, I counted, it looked like they already had something like a 7-second advantage, those two 5-litre Mustangs, on Stephen Pillikers in 3.3-litre Holden Tirana. So that just goes to show the raw grunt that even through the corners they're pulling away.
Yeah, it's bigger is better in this regard. And Maselli, though, is very, very close. He's holding a lot better than he did even last race. He was a fair way behind at this point. So he is decided to take the battle to Hanson this time. And Hanson he's right behind him as they come through the final corner. The mini safety car not needed as they get into the lane. As we come around the final corner, is Hanson going to stretch his lead down? Oh, Hanson's had an issue. He's run wide. So Maselli.
No, that's a problem. That's a problem.
There's a problem.
Let's listen as Hanson comes past.
So 4 cars by the looks of it. Might be 3.
Just
There's a idling Mustang going down there, and it's passed by the Tirana. So that is unfortunate for Hanson.
Alright, well that puts us in a unique situation where every car that finishes this race will be a podium sitter, with Phillip going through in the Cortina to assume, he hasn't assumed 3rd place yet because we've still got that Mustang just cruising through turn 1, and we're going to see the white flags at the marshal post at turn 1. I fully expect to see him pull in at the access road at turn 4, and that's a shame because that race was just about to hot up. To really, well, there's a term for that which I won't use on commentary, but I feel like I've been robbed here.
Yeah, it does seem like we've been robbed just a bit. I guess the best we could hope for is Maselli to slow down and give Phillips a bit of a run at it, but that's not going to happen. Maselli is going to keep going. He's going to probably try and see how good a personal best he can set.
The Cortina's just passed the Mustang there.
Yeah, he's going very slowly. Let's see if he peels into the lane here. The access road at Honda. Yeah, he's gone straight on. So
that is the shower for Darrell Hanson. He probably, well, his tyres will be a little bit younger next time he goes to a race meet. So it's unfortunate because he won the first 2 races quite nicely, and he'll get an early minute today, won't he?
Yeah, it also means that Maselli's going to win the round overall as well, because Maselli's going to finish, well, presumably Maselli's going to finish this race.
Well, it's not counted.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx him at this point already. We'll come across the line and they'll have 7 laps to go as Maselli makes his way down the straight. He hasn't dropped Phillip Tirana as much as he had last time. It's the Mustang 4's by.
It's 4 seconds faster than his previous lap, so into the 55.7. So looking at lap times would probably get us through to the end of this race, because we're not going to see wheel to wheel, I should think, unless things go horribly wrong for somebody.
Yeah, it's Cortina's coming out of the final turn now. That is of Browning. So yeah, Browning, just by virtue of being here, is going to get himself podium, which I'm sure he'll be quite pleased at and probably wasn't expecting at the start of this weekend.
I know they get a certificate for winning the race. I don't know if they get one for coming 3rd or 2nd. You've got something to hang on the mantle, because you've got to show up to be there.
If we have a look at the lap times, the Mustang did a 1:55.7 on the last lap, 2.5 seconds faster than the Tirana. That was a 1:58.2, and then a 2:11 for the Cortina. Hanson, when he pulled in, or his first lap was a 2:05, so even still faster than the Cortina on the flying lap.
Yeah, that was his standing lap as well, wasn't it?
Easing into it. So the gaps as they stand, with Pillica's gap to the leader, Maselli, 11.5 seconds, running a further 24 seconds behind. And Hanson and Stuttker out of this race, Stuttker not even taking the start. So 3 cars running. The blue Mustang just making its way out of MG corner right now. The red Tirana just making its way into MG corner right now. And the Tirana just making its way out of Siberia.
Yeah, so they've become very spread out. Really, there's almost a sector, well, not quite between those 2, but yeah. So if you look in any direction, you will see a car in that sector.
Well, that's good.
Unfortunately, that will be the only car in that area, but it's nice to see these cars go around.
We're certainly earning our paycheck here today, of which we don't have. But nonetheless, it's a good time to point out that, speaking of volunteers, there are a lot of volunteers around the circuit today, from marshals to flag marshals and people recovery and medicals, all that sort of stuff. And I know it's been said many times today, but something that we are very appreciative of as a racing community.
Yeah, and also to everyone who's shown up today. The reason that we're here and everyone else is because people want to go racing, and it's enjoyable to be able to see everyone out here. And we have had some excellent racing today. It's been very enjoyable to watch. So the coming together of all these different people to do that is quite excellent.
there's so often the forgotten people, the mums and dads and brothers and sisters and just everyone who helps out. They come along and it's all for common good.
Yeah, especially those, we have some people who have had to quickly jet off and miss a race because of births and stuff, and have made their way back and to race today and all that sort of stuff. I know plenty of people who might have wanted to be watching the grand final, but were here helping out, helping their teams and stuff. It's good to see.
Yeah, Billikers has actually set the fastest lap of the race here in the Tirana. He's 10 seconds adrift of Maselli, but he's done a 55.1 to 55.7, which is Maselli's best lap. On the previous time around, Maselli did a 56.5. Now, I don't think it's necessarily anything to worry about. I'm sure he's not pushing as hard as that Mustang will go, just enjoying himself basically. He's got essentially Phillip Island circuit to himself on a Sunday afternoon. Listen to it as it goes past.
When you're out there by yourself though, in front by 10 seconds, you'll be hearing every noise that car makes, hoping and praying it doesn't have a problem.
Billikers dropped off the pace a little bit the last time around, 57.1, and Maselli back down into the 55s, 55.6, which isn't fast. It was not as fast as Billikers did on his best effort, but it's Maselli's personal best, so maybe he's not slowing down, and like you said, he will be listening for every single noise.
Yeah, he's getting to just have some hot laps at Phillip Island. He's Maselli, but Billikers will be happy if he makes it. That's his best lap the weekend so far. And he'll be happy if he can improve on that. He'll be very happy if it doesn't get beaten. If he can make fastest lap of the race. I'm sure that will be something to write home about.
For sure. Simon Browning set his fastest lap of the race last time around, so he's coming around again. We'll get to see whether he's made any improvement on that. It was a 210.6 and he's done a 210.4, so he's shown 2/10 off, which I'm going to say, in a small little Cortina, that is consistency.
Not using the full width of the track though into turn 1, he was reasonably far into the middle.
I think I'd be struggling to get anywhere to the edge of the track here.
Well, if I went anywhere near the edge of the track, I'm sure I'd be somewhere near the edge of the hospital, probably.
Yeah, I'd probably struggle to get a 210 in one of the Audi RX, let alone Cortina. That's why I'm here in the commentary box and not out there in a car.
Yes, well, these guys, as much as we can say, oh, he's made a mistake there, or what's going on here, there's a lot of bravery no matter what car you're in.
There's no way we'd be able to do it, that's for sure.
We're trying to sim racing rig as Maselli comes across the line to improve his PB once more. 55.3, still not quicker than the benchmark set by Billikers a few laps ago.
All of these guys are nearly 10 seconds off the lap record pace, so I think they're all just nursing the cars to the finish. They don't want any reliability problems, they don't want to throw it off the road when there's nothing really to be gained.
Yeah, that lap record pace, we mentioned it earlier today, was set by a Camaro, so no Camaros in this field.
Yeah, and I believe that's just the 5 litres and over, just in general record, so I think that it could be any 5 litre and over car in terms of historic touring, so definitely just bigger engine, faster car in that regard.
Yeah, Maselli, that bright blue, shiny Mustang, making its way out of Honda and down to Siberia. The gap grew to 13.5 seconds on the last lap around. It's been hovering at about 10 seconds for a little while. I mean, we know from the previous race in the sports cars that anything can happen, so we're not going to say by any stretch of the imagination that this is a done deal for Maselli, because racing is racing and things break, and especially at this sort of level, grassroots motorsport, things do break because we don't have the sort of budgets that you might see on a high-level Formula 1 team.
Indeed, just listening to that Cortina, it's quite nice sounding.
It
It's
does
not
sound
got the roar that the Mustangs have, but it's definitely a nice sounding car when it's going at full chat down the straight here.
Just to add to my point before, I mean, just because you're a high-level Formula 1 team doesn't mean that small parts can't break. We saw the championship basically change on a dime last year when spark plugs became an issue in Suzuka for Ferrari. So small, insignificant parts, I say insignificant probably inaccurately because they obviously are insignificant when they fail, can all of a sudden derail a race in an instant. But 53.5 is the latest time set by Maselli, and that is the fastest lap of the race. Following the by
almost 2 seconds.
And Phillip has improved to 56.8 from his 57 on the previous lap, but the gap goes out to 17 seconds between first and second.
There's the length of the straight basically between Maselli and Phillip now, so that one very much done. We will have 2 laps remaining when the next time we go past, so basically 2 and 2/3 of a lap left in this race. The last race of 3 is Oscar historic touring cars for Victorian State Circuit Racing Championships round 5.
I've got to say thank you to Auto Action for letting me come here this weekend with being standing in between you two. This week on Thursday there's a supersized Bathurst preview edition. It'll have a takeout section in the middle with all your Bathurst information.
Yeah, Bathurst coming up next Sunday. Great race.
I'd like to say that's a fantastic, excellent job to your bosses for your first assignment coming out here, and you managed to get yourself in the commentary box and put in your own plug. So great job there.
Certainly been an enjoyable weekend for me, that's for sure.
We've had an excellent array of people in the box. So we've had some of the people from the XL series here helping us out. Who else have we had in the box from?
Well, we had some backtrack guys. That's what you were talking about before. Yeah, we had well, you and myself. We had Steve DeVries and Improved Production, Luke Hinchley from Improved Production. We've had Ben Rhodes and we've had Matt Dunlop. We've had a lot of people covering a lot of subjects, and so many cars here this weekend. So many cars to remember.
And still one race to go. So coming off flight here, we've got 2 laps to go. Still one more race to go. We've got the MGs and Classic British cars. We'll be heading out for their final run, and then I believe the regular A trial after that. As far as the list we have here says.
We've got the commentators from the next race in here already limbering up. They're doing mouth exercises, they're gargling water, doing interesting things with their mouths to get themselves ready for the next for the leader. It will be 1 lap to go with sheet and board. Yeah, all the cars are in the same boat on the track at the moment. They're all hiding behind the trees. And the whole team is just coming down to MG at the moment. And here comes the Mustang. Michael and Shelley coming down to MG. But it makes sense.
3 glorious cars, aren't they?
And the sun's come out for us as well. I've got my t-shirt on. Yesterday morning I had about 4 layers on, which is, I mean, we shouldn't really be surprised at Phillip Island, but glorious sunshine rains down upon the start-finish straight. Do you remember this morning we had the HQs going sideways with a damp track? I say a damp track.
Fully wet.
Fully wet. So the last lap board comes out for the leaders.
I'm going to be on the podium with you. They head down in the corner. They've got the last lap board.
Good job for Brown. I think it took them a lot longer to get lapped in the race this morning.
Well, if we had an 8-lap race, it's a 1 lap race, that many laps. So yeah, he was lapped by around lap 6 last race. So it's an excellent job from Brown. He's improved leaps and bounds just in these 3 races we've had.
55.3 for Pillikers, only 2/10 off his best, so remaining consistent. This is really when it is hard to stay concentrated. There's no other cars on the track that you can even see unless you come up to lap someone. So to be able to match your own PBs 10th to 10th, sector after sector, that's a commendable effort because it's so easy to just get distracted and make a mistake.
Yeah, that's for sure. You don't want to make a mistake because, especially for Maselli, again, we did for this race, they took it around points. So we he just wants to keep on the track. Obviously, you don't want to damage the long braking.
Certainly not. Certainly not. I mean, in a race of three, every car finishes this race, we will see on the podium, proverbial of course, because we don't have an actual podium. Nonetheless, a podium is a podium, and Michael Scully comes around, we're sliding it out. He's having fun now.
He's putting on a show for Miss Maselli.
Who can blame him?
And he can be happy with his win. He'll be happy with his weekend.
He doesn't want to lose it on the last corner.
No.
He doesn't want to stick in the kid with it.
He wouldn't be wanting to tell anyone about that. Checkered flag at the ready for Michael Maselli. He's going to come across the line in the glorious sunshine at Phillip Island to take out race 3 in the historic touring cars. Fantastic job, Michael Maselli.
Yeah, we've got Browning coming around the final corner now. He will take the checkered flag and take his 3rd position, and just behind him the 2nd position car of Phillip Island will go across the scene. He's waving out the red there from Browning to drop and historic touring cars done, race 3 done, one more race to go, energy and 5 cars. We will hand over to Donald and
Great, thanks for joining us, boys. Josh and Dan. Our replacements have got themselves limbered up, so I will hand my headset over to Hans Richmond.